deal is done, so to speak. Congress still must weigh in, but President Obama remains confident the accord he and John Kerry have struck with Iran over their use of nukes and the lifting of sanctions will stand no matter what, leading us to not just the fallout there, but the ripple effects of foreign policy into the near and distant future. Let's welcome back the veteran political analyst, co-author of the book Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation, Dick Morris. Dick, let's go ahead and talk about Iran foreign policy, but first, starting with Congress. The president seems absolutely convinced, without a doubt, that he can get this through Congress. He has enough to do it. Congress says, we won't let it happen. Which side is overconfident?
I think Congress is overconfident, and I think they're deliberately so. They want the illusion of resistance so people cover them, but then they understand that ultimately the Democrats are going to run out on them and side with Obama. The irony of this is that the Constitution says to approve a treaty, you need a two-thirds vote of the Senate. And the Republicans have managed to twist themselves into a knot where to disapprove a treaty, you need a two-thirds majority of the Senate. And they did that because Obama said, I'm not submitting it to Congress. This isn't a treaty. I don't care what Congress says. And in order to beg him to follow the Constitution and please give Congress a voice, they had to surrender the two-thirds majority so that Obama could submit it to Congress, knowing damn well that in the last analysis he'll get the votes he needs.
Dick, does it make any difference if the GOP comes out and they go to the president's statement where he said every pathway to a nuclear weapon is cut off? Every pathway. Makes no difference. You listen to the people who've looked at this. They say that is simply not true. If they came out and said to the American people, look, he's lying, just use the L word instead of something else, would it have any effect whatsoever?
I think that the rhetoric and the debate will have a great effect. I think that it will make people understand what a Swiss cheesy document this is, totally full of holes. And it begs the ultimate question, which is that even if it does stop Iran for 10 years, it rolls out a red carpet to let them become a nuclear terror after 10 years is over, courtesy of the world. And they're not going to reform by then. They haven't in the last 10 years, the last 40 years. But I think that the impact will be enormous in terms of persuading the people that this deal is wrong. If you ask the American people, are you willing to trust Iran? It would be like 120% that would say no. And now you have Hillary having to run for president, not only defending the deal, but having helped write it, even as there will be increasing evidence piling on that Iran is violating it, even as the sanctions are lifted. This is going to happen in real time during the campaign. And she's going to have to explain why this inspector isn't allowed there, why this base can't be opened here, why they didn't make this disclosure on time. All of those details are going to come out. They're going to exacerbate people's correct feelings of distrust in Iran, and it will assure that Hillary has a foreign policy to defend that is damn near indefensible.
Dick, we've talked before about this. I got about 2 minutes left, and I want to focus on foreign policy, though, because we've already mentioned many times that American foreign policy around the world has changed so drastically and so badly in so many ways, especially with the reputation America now has. Put this deal on top of this right now, and what, in your opinion, is going to happen to the next person that gets into Pennsylvania Avenue and then has to deal with this and clean up these messes?
Well, it's an incredible challenge. The United States is now perceived around the world as handcuffed by Obama, an absolute cream puff. If you want a change in the U.S. position, just wait 5 minutes. They'll give in. And no threat is seen as credible coming from the United States. A new president can change that fairly quickly, but it's going to be a tremendously important task. The other element is that in the Middle East, allowing Iran to go nuclear demands that Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Turkey go nuclear also. And that means that the next time there's a border skirmish with Israel, that could be a nuclear war that could spread around the world and destroy the planet. It takes the most explosive region in the world and it ladens it with nuclear weapons.
Is there any chance, in your opinion, that, let's say, within the next couple of years, the mullahs are no longer in power and that moderate movement in Iran is able to at least have some sort of influence here and tamp this down?
There was a chance There certainly was a chance until this deal was signed, because the economic privation triggered by these sanctions was fulminating tremendous discontent. But they've been holding that in check by the promise that the sanctions will be lifted, and now Obama has delivered on the Ayatollah's promise. So now there's going to be more than enough money for subsidies for everyone, and reduced gas prices and free rents, and food will be at very low prices, because the administration will be awash in money to subsidize people, and they'll buy them off. And now any chance for regime change is out the window.
And the rhetoric continues for a dangerous leadership. Once again, don't forget Power Grab, Obama's dangerous plan for a one-party nation. Grab your copy today by visiting powergrab411.com. Dick, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for joining us. And the Hardline continues.